first of all, I'm going to try and make this a but I but then it got pushed back as far as I did do a James Bond one last year, but I've still got to get around to editing that, and I've got a Glass Onion review, and I've got a Knives Out review, the 2019 one. Yeah. And I've got a review of Glass Onion I haven't edited in, even though I recorded it 2 years ago. Yes, things have been a bit hectic in the last 2 years. Yeah, things have been a bit hectic in my life in the last 2-ish years. That's why my YouTube presence kind of went down a bit more after I finished the Series 12 revisitation reviews. And even then, it was kind of on the downgrade after the Classic Series reviews were done anyhow. And even then, it was on the downgrade after the Russell T Davies era reviews anyway. Goodness, 2019 me, it was really active with YouTube, especially with all those classic Doctor Who reviews. Anyway, so because of that, and the trailers and basically the news. Before then, funny enough, I was actually recording or somewhat record or in. I wasn't watching Eurovision. I don't really watch Eurovision, but this episode we've known for a while is basically going to be a TV adaptation of the Doctor Who 1979-1980 comic, The Doctor Who and the Starbee. This story... I did a video back on this for the Universals for its 40th anniversary in 2019, October 2019, so recommend checking that video out. I'm not the biggest expert on Doctor Who magazine, so I wasn't the most qualified person to talk about it, but I felt I could give a little look over it for its 40th anniversary. Anyway, speaking of anniversaries, back to the 60th specials. So, for the first of the 60th specials, it looks like Russell T Davies, as I said, is adapting that story from Doctor Who magazine. I believe it's then, yeah, they're not going to be completely innocent after all. Then, whether the Doctor will remember Beat the Meat from previous stories or whether he's got amnesia is another story, such as a big finish, another that they released alongside. I think it was I think it was a preview for Dalek War. I think it might have been like an episode of part of an episode of Dalek War, or yeah. I think it was a preview of I think it was a preview to Dalek War or something. No, it was Storm Warning. No, that was with the Fifth Doctor one, the year after A Place Like Home. That was 2002. This ratings war was 2000 and no, that was 2003, wasn't it? 2002 or 2003, but this one was 2002, and it came with a episode 1 preview of the fourth. It was released with episode 1 of the Mark Gatiss written story Invasion from Mars. Like how they've released some of the episode 1s of monthly range stories in the past as free audios to take a sample of the story to listen to. It was basically like that. They did the same the year before with Storm Warning Part 1 with Legion of the Lost, was it? I'm not sure. No, it probably wasn't Legion of the Lost. No, the Legend of the Titans or something. A 7th Doctor free audio that Doctor Who magazine released, and they put part 1 of Storm Warning with that. And similarly, they did a 5th Doctor one called No Place Like Home a year after, and they put on the first episode of one of the Dalek War series, and then they did Living Legend with the 8th Doctor and Charlie, and then put on some behind the scenes of and then put some behind the scenes of Zagreus with that. God, these were such. God, this would have been a great time to be a Big Finish and Doctor Who magazine fan. God, this would have been a great time to be a fan of both Doctor Who magazine and Big Finish. Yearly free audios with previews to some of their other materials or behind the scenes exclusives, and they did their own behind the scenes exclusive free Doctor Who magazine CD for the Sirens of Times behind the scenes. Ooh. And then 2 other exclusive stories would be released later down the line, which are now free to listen to. Whew. What a great time to be fans of Big Finish and Doctor Who magazine. And then they've released a cut down version of the Mutant Phase as well. And Doctor Who Adventures fans like me got to get that later down the line. Anyway, so longer. Excuse me. On top of the. Oh, I'm gonna hate editing this. The aforementioned roaster. When in complete. And whilst I'm here, fucking COVID. Why did I do that? Why did I say fucking COVID? Well, I went a bit of a rant in it when I filmed the 39 season ranking when talking about series of 13s. And yeah, well, I went on a bit of rant. Well, I went on a bit of a rant about it when talking about series 13 in my season 39 ranking. And yeah, basically just swore at the pandemic because as much as the problems that other people, as many of the problems the production team probably because as much as there are other factors or faults with Series 13 and the 60th anniversary specials, I expect there'll be a few. But yeah, anyway. But I fucking hate the pandemic, so I'm going to say but I fucking hate the pandemic, so I'm going to blame a lot of it on that. And most of them probably come from the fact that we were in a pandemic, so fuck the pandemic. Okay, I won't go into much of it now. Anyway, I might even cut this bit. But episode 2 is based. But episode, depending on whether the Doctor remembers Beep or not. But most of the new stuff will probably be coming from the Donna side of the series. Hey, Tegan and Nyssa managed. But and if not, well, at least we'll always have Sharda Part 6. And if not, well, at least we'll always have the ending to Sharda 2017. And also Sharda 2021 Part 6. And for the part. And also the curator. And also the first curator. Colin Baker took up the mantle of the second curator. We'll just have to see how the second anniversary special, World Beyonder, deals with what it's doing. Time will tell. Even from these brief appearances. I don't know whether these are going to be new, old versions. What I am, besides the fact that they wanted to do it again. Besides the fact that Rusty Davies, David Tennant, and Catherine Tate thought it'd be cool enough. Yeah. Hope, if not on the, which is more than the Jodie Whittaker era had in a month. Am I right, guys? Although Series 11 did push 4 trailers out between the end of July less than a week in some cases. And yeah, you don't always have to build it too far in ahead, but sometimes it's also nice to get it nice and early. So long as you don't overplay it on BBC One too many times, otherwise we're going to get fed up with it. But in the case of releasing it outright, yeah, it'd be nice to get it like maybe a couple months early. And I think we've been spoilt with these ones so far, especially considering the previous era, apart from Series 11, was very reluctant to release its trailers early, or at least earlier than a month. So yeah, the exception being the Power of the Doctor next time trailer at the end of Legend of the Sea Devils, and clips from Series 13 and the Meets Dan preview at the end of Revolution of the Daleks. But other than those, Doctor Who Series 12 and 13 were and specials were reluctant to show off trailers from like before a month of their broadcast. 2 weeks in the case of Legend of the Sea Devils, 2 fucking weeks for that one. At least Resolution made sense. At least with Eve of the Daleks and Resolution, it made sense because they literally were only a few weeks after the end of their previous series. That's like if the Husbands of River Song had aired a trailer before series. It's like if Series 9 had. It's like having it air before the end of the series. If they'd released it sooner, then it would be a bit weird, like the Husbands of River Song having a trailer before Hellbent has. Anyway, so that's it from my thoughts on this, all this stuff. Or the return of Doctor Mysterio before the end of Class, even though Class was completely different to Doctor. And even though Class is completely separate to Doctor Who, it would also still feel a bit odd to have the return of Doctor Mysterio trailer before the Class finale as well. It's better to have it afterwards. But in the case of ones like Resolution of the Daleks, but for Revolution of the Daleks in Series 12 and 13, and Legend of the Sea Devils and the Power of the Doctor, it was a bit odd just keeping him so locked away until like a month, or in Legend's case, 2 weeks before broadcast. Good grief. At least Series 11 had good material. At least Series 11 had decent marketing. The marketing in the Whittaker era wasn't very good. At least Series 11 tried. Yeah, at least had good marketing. And at least Series... the marketing in the Whittaker era after the start of Series 11 went downhill quickly. The marketing in the Jodie Whittaker era after Series 11's premiere. The marketing in the Jodie Whittaker era after the start of Series 11 kind of went downhill. And yeah, at least the next time trailers were... Then again, the next time trailers were better in Series 12 and 13, so... Don't forget to click below to subscribe to the Nicholas Payne bonus content YouTube channel.